Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Dodgers port. As you can see again, we have the Bogatyr, the same ship from the last battle. I didn't think the last battle did this ship justice in showing what an unbelievably powerful ship it can be if it gets the opportunity. So here's a battle where it manages to hit ships with about its own weight in shells while setting everything in the map on fire, almost for the entire battle. I really hope you enjoy it, so let's jump in and I'll see you there. So here we are on the Archipelago map, or as one of my friends insists on calling it, Archipelago. Again, in the Russian Tier 3 cruiser, the little flamethrower, the Bogatyr. Last battle with the ship before we move up to Tier 4 with its big sister, the Svetlana. The last battle we saw with this ship was very much about doing some damage and then getting the living bejeebers kicked out of it, but just surviving long enough to do more damage and win the battle at the end. This battle, very different. Again, bottom tier. Seems the Bogatyr likes to be bottom tier. But in this battle, it really gets its teeth stuck into it and does an awful lot of damage and sinks an awful lot of ships. So we're on a map with 3 cap zones. Not my favourite maps. I decide I'm going to head between A and B and see where the battle develops. I could have headed straight into B, but never quite know where the enemy team are going to focus their ships, so keep options open and head between them. Now, with the guns pointing to the port side anyway, although it has guns on both sides, but with the gun at the back turning to the port side, it means no matter which of those 2 cap circles they start their battle in, I should be able to get 8 guns pointed at them. High explosive, obviously loaded at this stage. Time to start putting some shells in the air. Would be better if I was putting shells on the enemy ship. That looks more like it. Again, something I commented in the last battle, the dispersion of these shells is absolutely phenomenal. Rather than firing and them all disappearing in different directions, like they do on some ships, particularly some of the German ships, these all seem to focus. I mean, look at that. That was 6 penetrative shots. No wonder ships melt in front of the Bogatyr. See how they just again all meld together. And there's the predictable fire. Now, glad I went between the 2 cap circles, because there's an awful lot of action happening here. Actually happening between the 2 cap circles. Oof. Massive damage. Remember, bottom tier ship here. And again, look at how the shells all clump together to do another 3,000 damage. If a Bogatyr's firing at you, you really need to come up with a tactic to get out of dodge, because there we go, another 5 hits. Oh, a citadel and a fire. Now, most ships I wouldn't have even taken that shot on because it would have been too dangerous to hit my friendly. But the accuracy of these shells just makes it a no-brainer. And there's the first enemy cruiser dead. We've somehow managed to already lose a battleship. That takes real skill. I'm guessing the enemy destroyer was causing havoc. Could very easily switch to armor piercing here, but when you can do 3,500 damage with high explosive, why would you need to bother? Torpedoes in the water, but he's not going to survive long enough to be hit by torpedoes. We're now 3 ships down. 2 ships down. This is very similar to the battle we had in the Russian destroyer, where every time I sink a ship, there's another one just in a really good position, and there's another ship sunk. Shunk. That was sunk quite quickly. Unfortunately, not quickly enough to get the double kill. I have no idea how those shells missed. Time to give the battleship some grief. 3,500 damage, but no fire. Probably not going to do much there. Oh, yes we do. 5 more hits and a fire. Holy cow. So we managed to cap A. Everything else is now happening at B and C, but mainly at B. Now I'm looking for the battleship that was there. I'm not going to find him. I think he's been sunk. Yes, he has. The rate of fire of these shells and the accuracy of them really does make it a delight to play if you can keep your distance. The armour's pretty poor, especially on a tier 3 when you're facing tier 4s and tier 3 battleships. But the range and the accuracy of the shells is so good, you don't need to get up close and personal. So what have we killed so far? 3 enemy ships. Incoming! Ouch. It must be a very warm ship to be on the Bogatyr. Everywhere you go it's just surrounded by fire. And there's kill number 4. You'll note the damage we've taken so far is none. But we are still 2 ships down. And they've got 3 battleships left to our 1. That could get to be a problem later. Although, if there's one ship battleship drivers don't want bearing down on them near the end of the game, it's a Bogatyr. Because they're just gonna burn. I decided to try and give some grief to the enemy destroyer, who has at this stage sunk 3 of our ships, but his health is now very, very low. But we are still ships down. I'm hoping he's going to run aground here and I can just pick him off. Unfortunately not. So what have we got? We've got a cruiser in B capping, and everybody else milling around outside of B. So I certainly don't want him capping B. But my options to stop him are pretty limited at the minute. So we'll focus on what we can do something about, which is this enemy cruiser heading our way. Don't forget, we know there's a destroyer somewhere loitering, but a destroyer on very low health, and the last thing a destroyer on very low health wants to do is find himself in my guns. Another 4,500 damage. Almost unfair. And a citadel and lots more damage. How's the battle looking? 4 ships to their 6, but a lot of their ships have got pretty low health. I, on the other hand, have so far not lost a single hit point. Hit point, I'm showing my D&D heritage. Not lost a single health point. Now, there is the enemy destroyer, and he's been having a good game, so the last thing I want is him doing anything nasty to me. So I decided to do the worst thing possible and run aground. At this point I'm firing from the hip. I know he's going to try and get some torpedoes into me, so I've really got to sink him before he can get them off. And there we go. And right up against me. Oh! Go on, give him another one. And there's the double strike. 2 enemy ships sunk within 10 seconds of each other. So let's casually reverse. And see what we can do about turning over the very last disadvantage we've got. We are still 1 ship down. And there's a Confederate to go with the Kraken and the double strike. And you, mate, really just need to turn directly towards me or directly away from me. You don't want to be giving me that kind of profile to shoot at. And there's the high caliber. But holy crap, I'm within range of the secondaries of the battleship. So let's not be within the range of the secondaries of the battleship, because that could hurt really quickly. But I've got to finish off this cruiser. One more hit should probably do it. Right, finally we're level. Are we level? They've got 2 battleships, we've got a battleship and a cruiser. Yeah, we're level. Their battleships have got to try and catch me. And they're going to have to try and catch me while I'm setting them on fire. So he's extinguished the fire. Not a problem. Just want to make sure I'm not running into that island again. Already run into it once. Twice would be embarrassing. Battleship obviously not anticipating that I was in a hard turn. So all I can do now really is keep at a reasonable distance so I can see and avoid his shells, and just let him burn. Just keep setting fires, because he can't keep putting them out. There's another, that's 2. And once you get 2 fires or 3 fires on a battleship, it really does start to get painful for them. Very painful. Now, I made a bit of a foobar here. I was glancing to the port side and I thought that battleship had gone round the island, and to my horror he suddenly put 2 shells into me amidships and opened up on me with his secondaries. And I was like, no! So I show him my backside, so he can no longer put anything meaningful into me amidships. And the first thing I've got to do is just somehow, oh, he's still hurting me though, is somehow finish this guy off. I need to set another fire on him. Oh, and that's a good shot. I could really do with my colleague in the battleship joining in now. The problem I have is the ships, one is astern and one is off my port side, which means I can't really angle on them both at the same time. I have to give somebody a target I'd rather not be giving them. Easiest way to rectify that is to get rid of one of the 2 battleships. He's still piling shells at me. Okay. The other way to avoid being shot at by 2 ships is to get out of line of sight of one of them. That said, I need to sink that battleship. I don't know what my friendly battleship is doing at the moment. This battleship is on practically full health. Come on, friendly, sink the battleship that's really badly injured. If we were to lose a friendly battleship, how comfortable am I that we'd win this battle? Fairly comfortable, to be honest. One of the battleships is almost dead, and I can just stay at range and fire over islands and finish him off at some point with fires. I'm hoping the 90% dead battleship's gonna... Oh, he's dead. The friendly must have put a broadside into him. So now we're 2 on 1. Probably getting a little bit close to the battleship here. What I really need now is for our friendly battleship to come around the corner and draw his fire. Not burning, is he? Has he been dousing his upper deck with water? Ah, there's a fire. You'll notice because I'm just intent on setting him on fire at the minute that I'm aiming above the level of the deck, trying to hit his superstructure. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but the fires do a ton of damage. Just to give some indication of why I call this the little flamethrower, 14 fires started in this battle. I decide that he's really had too much of a bead on me for a while. I need to put an island between me and him, and hopefully he'll then turn his attention to the friendly battleship who's got a lot more health left than I have. And then when I come around the island, hopefully he'll have swung his guns over to the battleship, and yes he has, which means I can now fire at him without any real worries. Oh, make that 15 fires. And he's clearly going to burn to death. A very different battle to the last one we saw with the Bogatyr. This one allowed him to just maraud around the map and pick targets off, as shown with the frankly ridiculous stats on the end screen. 323 target hits. If a ship's putting out that many shells and the shells are that accurate, you rack up a ridiculous amount of hits. 7 ships sunk and 15 fires. 3 citadels. Think about that for a second. 3 citadels with high explosive in a bottom tier ship. If you doubt that this ship is an absolute beast, load into the port, go and play it and see what happens. I promise you, you won't win every battle, but the ones you do win, you're going to have a great deal of fun with. Now, I'm on holiday all of next week. My intention is to try and get some videos up before I go on holiday tomorrow and have them just publish over the next week while I'm on holiday every couple of days. So if you want to check my channel out, you might not get the notifications if you normally get them on Facebook, because I won't be posting them on the World of Warships groups, but you will if you've got the like and subscribe and you've got the bell ticked. You'll see when the videos go live. My intention is to get them to go live on the days I do publish them at around 6 PM United Kingdom time. I hope you're enjoying the videos still. If you are, comment below, let me know what you're enjoying. If you're not, please feel free, let me know what you're not enjoying and I'll see if there's something I can do about it. I look forward to engaging more with you when I'm back from holiday next week. Until then, take care and bye bye.